Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Once again, it's your boy Abdul, the Health Man. I'm here on Grown Folks Podcast for another show on Sunday nights. I'm actually a little tired this time. Yesterday, we had a block party, and I was out late, and I was grilling and having fun with the whole block. It was pretty cool. But today, I wanted to do something a little different. We talked last week about pancreas, the benefits or what the pancreas does and the benefits of the pancreas, and we actually talked about enzymes. And in that discussion, I was talking about the importance of enzymes and some of the misconceptions of enzymes. So today I want to talk a little bit about enzymes. Today is an enzyme show. So if anybody have any questions about enzymes, we're going to kind of break it down because I get a lot of false information or wrong information out there, and also when you look at an enzyme label, when you're buying enzymes such as like VeggieFest or something like that, and Enzymatica Enzyme Defense, what makes these different? Not only that, how do you read the label? Because enzymes are not about milligram dosages. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So what is an enzyme? Let's read this right now. An enzyme is a substance produced by a living organism which acts as a catalyst to bring about specific biochemical reactions. It is a substance produced by a living organism that acts as a catalyst. This is the most important. Acts as a catalyst to bring a specific biochemical reaction. Every function in the body that we have of is reliant upon enzymatic functions, enzymatic processes. Almost every function. There are over 10 to 15,000 enzymatic responses in our body every day. I'm talking about like they're continuous, but I'm talking about how many different ones. For us to utilize oxygen, for us to utilize water, for us to utilize food, for us to utilize, our immune system works. So many components are geared because of enzymatic processes. In this show, we're going to talk more about digestive enzymes, and I'm going to go a little bit into systemic enzymes. There are three types of main digestive enzymes. It's amylase, is made in the mouth and in the pancreas, and it breaks down complex carbohydrate down to simple sugars. You have lipase that's made from the pancreas that also is broken down from, it breaks down fat to lipids and triglycerides, okay? And then protease, also secreted by the pancreas, meant to break down proteins and also, break down proteins. So those are the three main enzyme categories that we have in our body. Categories, okay? The most important digestive enzymes are amylase, maltase, lactase, lipase, protease, and sucrase, okay? If you notice, most of these are ending with A's. Most of them are ending with A's. And why is that? Because of the simple fact that that's the way they do enzymes. Enzymes always end with A's. Amylase, protease, catalase. That's the sign of an enzyme. And why is enzymes important? Because they are catalysts. Catalysts mean they speed up a reaction. They speed up a reaction. For that reaction to regularly work, it may take 30, 40, 50 minutes. Sometimes it may take a year. When you add an enzyme to it, it may take that down to a second to break it down. The enzyme now fits in there and allows it to be able to work much more effectively. The enzyme is a catalase, It is a catalyst for things to break down and also to build up, because there are also enzymes used in also anabolic processes as well as catabolic processes. So that's how important enzymes are. Now we're going to go through, and we're going to keep it simple. We're going to go through foods that help you with enzymatic function. And I have written this down. And this is going to be more of a truncated show. But we're going to go through it. Foods that can help you with enzymatic processes. And this is important. Number one, pineapple. Pineapple is rich in an enzyme called bromelain. It's rich in an enzyme called bromelain. And why are we talking about this? About 70 million people in America are dealing with gastrointestinal problems, and they can stem from lack of enzymes. As we get older, it may be your genetics, or the enzymes become exhausted. We produce less and less and less. Remember we talked about last week when we said the pancreas, we have an enzymatic pool. We have an enzymatic pool, and we continuously pull from that pool. It's not unlimited. You can continuously pull from that pool, and that pool slowly but surely decreases. So if you had a 16-foot pool of water when you started, and now you're 50 years old, and that now pool is at 8 feet, and it has reduced in size, that means you're exhausting the enzymatic pool. Okay? I was just using that as an example. So that's what we know right now, that the pancreas has an enzymatic pool, and as we get older, we continuously exhaust the enzymatic pool from eating dead foods, from eating non-living foods. It exhausts the pancreas, and it continuously pulls from that enzymatic pool. And if you continuously pull from the enzymatic pool, your digestion becomes affected. It becomes affected by it. You can eat the same meal that you ate at 20 years old at 35, and it sits longer in your stomach. That's enzymatic pool. You can eat that same meal at 35, and when you're 55, it sits even longer than it did at 35. Exhausting the enzymatic pool. And remember when we talked about it, when you exhaust the enzymatic pool, enzyme are catalysts for almost everything we do in our body. Every processes we do in our body involves some form of enzymes. And since we have an enzymatic pool and it's never being replenished, the rest of the enzymes in our body, they're slowing down. Their job is being affected because you are exhausting your enzymatic pool. But there are foods that can help you with that enzymatic pool, such as pineapple. Now, pineapple is rich in bromelain, as I said. Bromelain is an enzyme that comes from the pineapple core. Bromelain is an enzyme that comes from the pineapple core. Bromelain helps you digest proteins. It acts as a what? Protease. It helps you digest proteins. So we already said you have chymotrypsin and trypsin that comes from the pancreas that help you digest protein. Also, you have pepsin that comes from the stomach that helps you digest protein. But we're trying to prevent exhaustion of these enzymes, because our body recycles them, but we also lose some. We recycle these enzymes, but we lose some of them. So if we're recycling them and they're going back to the enzymatic pool, but it's becoming less and less, we want to eat foods that replenish or allow us not to use so much of our enzymes. And that's what pineapple does. That bromelain is going to help you break down proteins. Not only is that bromelain going to help you break down proteins, when you take bromelain on an empty stomach, bromelain is anti-inflammatory. Bromelain acts as a natural anti-inflammatory. And why is that? Because a marker of inflammation is called what? C-reactive proteins. And when the body takes in bromelain into the bloodstream, it breaks down pro-inflammatory proteins, making it anti-inflammatory. So bromelain will help you with your digestion, and it will reduce your inflammation, and that comes from pineapple. So it's going to help you. So if you are noticing you are not digesting properly, you can eat pineapple. Ripen pineapple. The riper, the better, actually. The riper, the better. So ripened pineapple is excellent. All right? And that has bromelain. Another great food we can eat is mangoes. Mangoes. Why is mangoes effective? Mangoes naturally have something called amylase. Amylase is an enzyme that breaks down what? Sugar. If you notice, foods that's rich in amylase ripen really fast. Why is that? Because they have naturally occurring enzymes in there that is ripening the food. Mangoes have a large amount of amylase in there. So as they ripen, they break down the natural sugars in the mango, making them sweeter to the taste. They also help you digest sugars when you eat them, your carbs. They help them break them down to simple sugars. So mango is rich in amylase. Very, very effective if you have gastrointestinal issues. Okay? So we got another fruit that's really good. Number 3 in the fruits, papaya. Papaya is rich in papain and amylase. Papaya is rich in papain, that's an enzyme, and amylase. So it digests proteins and is very effective digesting carbohydrates. So papain is an excellent enzyme to digest protein. You can actually use it as a meat tenderizer. People notice you crush up and you use some papaya, fresh papaya, if you sit it on your meat for a couple of minutes, it softens the meat. If you sit it on the meat, you soak it in the meat for about 2 hours, or soak the meat in papaya juice, raw papaya juice, for about 2 hours, literally the meat is starting to disintegrate. It is digesting the meat. It will digest it and break it down. It will make it break into pieces. Because papain naturally breaks down protein. It is a protease. That's why when you go to the store and you can find papaya enzymes, because it digests protein. So papaya, you're having gastrointestinal issues, get some papaya, start eating some mangoes. Okay? If you can't digest fat, God gave you something that some people don't like. It's called avocados. Avocados are rich in lipase. That's why when an avocado ripens, it turns brown. It's starting to turn brown inside. The enzyme lipase is digesting and breaking down the fats. So when your body is having issues with digesting fat, you can actually eat avocado. Even though it's fatty, it has the enzyme in there that helps you break it down. Okay? Avocados are rich in lipase. Lipase is an enzyme that breaks down fat and turns them into the smaller particles called triglycerides, and it also breaks them down to fatty acids, lipase. And if you've had liver issues, and if you've had gallbladder issues, and you have gastrointestinal issues, especially if you had your gallbladder removed, you're going to have the problems with digesting fat. That's because you are missing the bile salts that emulsify the fat that the pancreas uses when it's secreting lipase. Well, you can eat avocado to help you regenerate or restore some of that lipase enzyme that's missing from the actual pancreas. Another good food that you can eat right now for gastrointestinal issues to supply you with enzymes, miso. Now that's a fermented food. Fermented foods help you with digestion because not only do they give you live enzymes in there, different types of enzymes, but they also give you probiotics. So miso is actually rich in an enzyme called nattokinase. Nattokinase, you've probably seen this. Nattokinase is not necessarily a digestive enzyme. Nattokinase is an enzyme that works actually in the bloodstream to break up blood clots. So if you have someone in your family, if you know a friend of yours who continuously gets blood clots, and they cannot use different supplements, they can consume miso. And miso has nattokinase that naturally breaks down blood clots. So miso. Bananas. 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 Bananas are rich in amylase. Reason why the doctors always tell you having stomach issues, take bananas. Eat some bananas. It helps you with digestive issues. Bananas, rich in amylase, breaks down sugars. Okay? Sauerkraut, another fermented food. I always say fermentation has its benefits, depending. Sometimes. But fermented foods has its benefits. And let me explain why. When you take cabbage with naturally occurring bacteria on there, all those things like that, right? Naturally occurring bacteria, and you ferment it and make sauerkraut, you find 3 new components found in sauerkraut that's not found in cabbage. There's new enzymes that's been created and new nutrients that wasn't necessarily in the sauerkraut that's now was not in the cabbage that's now in the sauerkraut. Sauerkraut will help improve your digestion because it gives you enzymes as well as it gives you probiotics. If you are a kefir and a yogurt lover, cool with me. That all depends on the person. But they're rich because they help you, give you enzymes that help break down lactose. You ever notice people who are lactose intolerant, who cannot consume milk but can consume kefir or yogurt? Because the bacteria, the lactobacilli found in dairy breaks down and use the sugar, use the lactase or the lactose as energy, and they produce lactase to do that. So when you consume it, you also get lactase, the enzyme that breaks down the milk sugar, as well as the enzymes that help you break down the milk protein. Because 50% of the people who are actually having issues with dairy is actually not the sugar, it's actually the milk protein, the casein. But those same people do not have the problems with kefir or yogurt. So it gives you proteases in there to help you break down the milk sugar, as well as lactase to help you break down, protease to help you break down the milk protein, and lactase to help you break down the milk sugar. Raw honey. I hope y'all enjoy this. I'm giving you actually foods right now you can use that will help you if you're having stomach issues. Raw honey. Raw honey has 4 different types of enzymes in there to help you digest. Different sugars and everything else to digest the sugar. 4 different types of enzymes in there. Raw honey gives you tons of naturally occurring minerals. And raw honey gives you tons of vitamins. Raw honey, I keep saying raw because you don't want it to be heated. You don't necessarily, you can get filtered if you want. Unfiltered is better though. But if you can get filtered, it's cool. But you want to make sure it's raw though. That's the most important thing. You want to make sure it is raw. Now, you can get raw honey that's solid and you can get raw honey that's not solid. Most people think, because you find it solid, that's the only way it comes. No. Raw honey could come solid as well as it does not come solid. As the honey cools, it naturally crystallizes if it's raw honey. It starts to naturally crystallize as it becomes cooler. And why is that? It's not a lot of water in raw honey. They're not thinning it out. The bees ain't thinning it out. It's more sugar in there. So like sugar, it actually crystallizes. It's like 40% glucose. It crystallizes. And that's not a bad thing. Okay? Raw honey. Kimchi. if you're Korean. Kimchi is just like sauerkraut. Europeans did sauerkraut. Koreans did kimchi. It's just a spicy sauerkraut. That's what I call it. So all the benefits. Injera. If you've ever had Ethiopian food, that bread that you cook with, the bread that you eat, it's a sourdough fermented bread that's been fermenting for 3 to 4 days. That's why it has them bubbles in it. It actually starts to ferment. But it gives you tons of enzymes in that bread. It actually helps you digest the food. The bread actually helps you digest the food. So when I first had Ethiopian food, I'm not going to say a lie, it kind of turned me off. I was like, ooh, this bread is wet. It's like soggy. It's like it feels wet, even though it's not. It feels wet, you know? But it's fermented, and that's for a reason. It actually improves the digestion, okay? Tempeh, another fermented food that's rich in enzymes. Kiwis has an enzyme in it called activin or something like that. Something like that. Kiwi has an enzyme in it that helps you break down proteins. Kiwis are rich in an enzyme that helps you break down protein. Okay? And then mushrooms and apricots are also rich in enzymes. Apricot is really rich in enzymes called invertase that helps you break down sugars. So you got apricots and you also have mushrooms. Mushrooms are rich in enzymes to help you break down the food. Now, let's talk about something else. And this is important. I want to get on this. To read an enzyme label. Now, like I said, I showed y'all this. I carry something called Vibrogest. This is one I have in my house. I also carry one called Enzyme Defense. I have this in my house. Now, you ever go to a store, and if you ever go to a store and you're looking at enzymes, it's like reading a whole new world. It's like reading a dictionary for a doctor. A dictionary for a doctor. And why do I say that? Because you're not understanding usually what's inside of an enzyme capsule. Okay? We said the 3 main components of enzymes, or the 3 main categories of enzymes, is amylase, protease, and lipase, right? Well, they're not measured in milligram dosages. Most of your proteases, if you can see from here, most of your proteases are measured in something called DUs. Most of your enzymes are measured in what they break down. This is amylase, and this is 2200 DUs. This is alpha galactase, and it's measured in 1000 GAIUs. This is gamma lactase. This is measured in 30 AGUs. Cellulase measured in 2000 CUs. Why is this important? This is extremely important. I didn't say not one thing. Did I say anything about a milligram dosage? Not one thing. Enzymes, it does not matter the milligram dosage. It matters the activity. Okay? When I talk these numbers, I am talking activity. How much of this product can be digested and utilized in that short period of time? Okay? So understand that I am talking activity. How much can this maltase digest of maltose in a minute's time, or usually in a second's time? How much can it digest? And this is extremely important when you're dealing with enzymes. When you go into a store and you're trying to figure out how does enzymes work. You do not look at enzymes in the milligram dosage, you look at activity. If I come in and I see something that says protease, 1,200 HUTs, and I see the next bottle that says protease, 10,000 HUTs, and then I see one that says 150,000. That means that other one can digest a certain amount of protein in a short period of time. Good example is we're going to talk about bromelain. It's one of the most known enzymes. Bromelain is measured in gelatin digestive units, GDUs. You can look at the tablet and tell you it's a 500 milligram tablet, but the most important thing is the GDUs. How much gelatin digestive units is in this bromelain? And why is that important? Because you want this bromelain to be active. If I give you a bromelain that is 500 GDUs, oh, okay, that sounds good. But it can digest 500 units of gelatin in 1 second. That seems great. But if I give you a 2,000 that can digest 2,000 gelatin units in 1 second, that's much better. That means the other one is more active. It can break down more in a shorter period of time. Why is that important in enzymes? Because the activity determines how powerful the enzymes are. Not the milligram dosage. The activity determines how powerful an enzyme is. If it's more active, it can do more work. If it's less active, it's going to do less work. If I give you enzyme that has lower activity for digestion, the food is going to sit longer on your stomach. If I give you enzymes that has higher activity, the foods is going to break down more of your food faster. So that means you could take an enzyme that's equivalent to digest a breakfast, or you could take an enzyme that is equivalent to digest Thanksgiving dinner. That is the difference. I can give you an enzyme that digests a cracker or two or a piece of fruit. Or I can give you digestive enzymes that can digest a feast. So your body can break it down much more effectively. This one has 100,000. This one has 10,000. This one is going to digest 10 times the amount of food that one is going to be able to digest in the same period of time. That's extremely important in the world of enzymes. It's the same exact way when you do a systemic enzyme like enzyme defense, where the enzymes work in the blood. It's the same way. It's extremely important that people understand this, that enzymes are not about the milligram dosage. It's about the activity. Protease is measured in usually HUTs, hemoglobin unit tyrosine base. Amylase is usually in DUs, alpha amylase dextrins base. Lipase is usually in FIPs or LUs. Cellulase is usually digested in CUs, that's cellulase base, or cellulase unit, And the other one's dextrin, dextrin. Invertase is usually in IAUs, invertase activity unit. Not one time have I said milligram dosage. Lactase is measured in LACU, lactase units. Maltase DP, degrees diastastic powders. This is how they measure these enzymes. They measure them in these units because that's the units that they use to test the digestive activity. Like I said, bromelain is gelatin. Other ones is invertase. Other ones using dextrin. They use these units, and this is the most important area of enzyme function. Not enzyme function, enzyme measurement. If you understand enzyme measurement, then you got the game in enzymes. You have the game. You can weed through trash. I had somebody come in the other day. They wanted papaya enzymes. They're having gastrointestinal issues. They want papaya enzymes. I said, great. You can do papaya enzymes. But let me show you something a little stronger than papaya enzymes. No, I only want papaya enzymes. I said, well, papaya enzymes is measured in DUs, right? They measured in DUs. This is what they do. They break down amylase, and they measure the HUT. Some papaya enzymes. Some of them just go by milligram dosage, right? But this is like 500. This is like 1,000. This is not enough. Let me show you something that's a little strong. No. I want papaya enzymes because this one has 400 milligrams of this. Okay, no problem, sir. Here you go. Not a problem. You don't want to understand what I'm telling you, but it's okay. Here you go. This is yours. Not understanding from the issues he having, papaya enzymes is like taking baby food. He is talking about irritable bowel syndrome and all this other stuff and acid reflux, and he wants papaya enzymes that will help. That will help. But what he really needs is a digest gold. Because his stomach is already inflamed. He's already exhausting his enzymatic pool. And the papaya enzymes is like a drop in the bucket, where I can actually give him the bucket. Okay? Same thing when it comes down to dealing with systemic enzymes, such as nattokinase, such as serrapeptase, such as catalase, such as mucilase, these such as candidase. Enzymes that work in the bloodstream. Remember, all functions in the body use enzymatic processes. Boom. All functions in the body use enzymatic processes. Did you know when your immune system goes to attack a virus and a bacteria, it uses enzymes to break them down? Do you know for your body to create nuclear? I'm sorry, somebody muted. I didn't touch it. Maybe I touched something. Do you know for your body to make DNA? Do you know for your body to make DNA? To make DNA, it actually needs enzymes. To make RNA, it needs enzymes. To make every protein in your body, to make enzymes, you need enzymes. To every function, you need an enzyme. So, when you take systemic enzymes, like enzyme defense, things that work in the bloodstream, it's the same exact thing. You want to make sure that you're getting a potent enzyme. You want to make sure you're getting a potent enzyme. You dealing with candida? Great. Do your garlic, do your fasting, do your caprylic acid, do all those other things. But you know what digests the cell wall of candida? Candidase is an enzyme that digests the yeast itself. Do you know when you're dealing with your immune system swallows the bacteria up, and then it uses an enzyme to digest the cell wall of the bacteria? The same thing when it comes down to viruses. The immune system uses enzymes. When you exhaust your enzymatic pool, guess what happens? You have less enzymes in the body to do what it needs to do. Because exhausting the enzymatic pool is a replenisher. The structure of those enzymes go to other parts of the body. The body uses them for other areas. Okay? So this is the importance of using enzymes, understanding enzymes. I'm going to open up the floor in 1 second, but I see this all the time. People do not know how to read labels to enzymes. People do not understand the importance of enzymes. You will be not here without enzymes. Beyond just digestive enzymes, just in general. What are vitamins? They are what? Coenzymes. They are coenzymes. enzymes. With our minerals, they are cofactors. And what? Enzymatic processes. We ain't around without enzymes. Let's say that again, because we talk about nutrition all the time. What are vitamins? They are coenzymes. They are literally coenzymes. With our minerals, they are cofactors that are part of enzymatic function. That's why they're so important. Because certain functions will not happen without these cofactors. Certain enzymes do not work properly. Same thing with coenzymes. Without coenzymes, certain enzymes wouldn't work properly. So you need cofactors that help with enzymes, and you need enzymes that help with enzymes to make them work more effectively. So I'm going to open up the floor. If anybody have any questions about enzymes, we could have a little question. You know, enzymes even help you with your allergies. If you were dealing with allergies right now, you can actually do bromelain that's going to help. You can do so many enzymes that's going to affect you. You know there's an enzyme called mucilase that helps break down and liquefy mucus? Did you know that if you've been having digestive issues for a long period of time, you notice if you eat something and if you have, before you eat, you take a little bit of papaya, you could literally take a third or like a fourth of a half of a papaya and eat that right before you eat. It would improve your digestion tremendously. If you wanted to, if you want to improve your digestive capability. Go ahead, somebody. I don't hear myself talking. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Ivanine, thank you. I don't know what's going to happen when I'm no longer here. I don't know what I'm going to do without you. So here is what I want to ask you.
Yeah.
The core of the pineapple, is that where most of the bromelain is located?
Yes, it is. But it's still in the fruit, too. Did you hear me?
I'm sorry, say it again.
I said even though it's in the core, it's also in the fruit.
Okay. And so that also explains, give me 1 second, that also explains why when you go to, especially Italian restaurants, most restaurants, if it's a sit-down, they'll give you salad first, that oil and vinegar, but I know like certain seafood restaurants, they'll give you that the pickled vegetables, the carrots and the cauliflower, getting your body, because it's fermented, getting your body ready for digestion.
I'm going to tell you something, too. Check this out. I'm going to pause you. I'm going to put you on mute so I don't hear myself so much. Okay. So, and then I'm going to unmute you right afterwards. You talked about going into Italian restaurants. And you talked about the pickled foods, pickled foods that when you go to a restaurant. The people of old knew this. It's just that we're not eating normally. Not only do they sometimes give you pickled fruits and vegetables to eat that improves your digestion before you eat. The salads you eat are usually bitter salads. If you go to a good Italian restaurant, they're giving you chicory, they're giving you arugula, they're giving you what's another bitter one? I can't even think of it. It's a couple of bitter greens that they'll give you dandelion leaves. All this before you eat your meal. Guess what bitter does? Bitter stimulates the tongue. The bitterness on the tongue stimulates gastro juices. It gets your stomach ready to digest. It makes your stomach ready to digest, and bitters help you break down protein and fats better. So not only are you getting these foods right before you eat, the fermented foods like you said, the pickling of the fruits, that's going to help improve your digestion. When you go to good restaurants and they give you the bitter salads, that's actually helping you to digest your food better. So, the people of the old knew these things. We just got away from it. I'll unmute you.
Thank you very much. No, you're absolutely right. If we go back and look at all of these things, and we'll be eating for better health, and we'll be healthier. But here's the other question, too. I know that you were talking about the amylase and protease. When you do a liver function test, isn't that what they test you for as well, to determine, I guess, how much is in your system, how much your liver is retaining?
No, they don't test you for those enzymes. They test you for what they call liver enzymes. That's a different type of enzyme. So we can go through the liver enzymes. Those liver enzymes are different. So you talk about hepatic enzymes. Those enzymes are not for digestion. Those enzymes are more for making sure that your liver is healthy. Those enzymes are elevated. That means there's something going on wrong with the liver. That's usually enzymes that has to do with detoxification. That's enzymes that have to do with breaking down, not necessarily digesting fat, but seeing if you have fat storage, inflammation, all these other enzymes. Those are the type of enzymes they're looking for versus looking for digestive enzymes. So that's the difference. So when you talk about hepatic enzymes, because remember, the liver breaks down, I keep saying digest, detoxify has over 500 detoxifying mechanisms, as you want to say. It can detoxify so many different toxins. They are checking for those type of enzymes, like reductase and catalase. They're checking for those.
Yeah, I actually meant the pancreatic test. That's what I meant, not the liver.
Oh, okay, yeah, well, yeah, that's different. Yeah, the pancreatic test, yeah, they're checking for your pancreatic enzymes, yes.
Thank you.
No problem.
How you doing? This is Dr. James. Can I ask a question?
Yeah, definitely.
Let me ask you a question. This is not really an enzyme, but I know that glycerol is supposed to soften hard skin. You know any natural products that contain glycerol?
You mean glycerol? What do you mean by that? You talking about the alcohol, like the sugar alcohol, glycerol?
It's like it's alcohol. Yeah. There's no natural products that contain glycerol, right?
I don't know. It probably is. Okay, I know you can find glycerin. I know you can find a lot of products that have glycerin, and more than likely you can find glycerol. Yeah, I'm almost certain you can, especially in skincare products. Definitely. Are you just trying to moisturize
like
your
natural
skin?
Products, like you don't know any natural products that contain it.
Like I would have to. I don't want to say yes to that because I know products, but I don't know the ingredients to all products. I would have to check at the store and see what products have it in there. But I've seen glycerols. I'm almost certain you can find them in a lot of anti-aging creams. Yeah.
Over the counter creams, yeah, okay. All right, thank you.
No problem. Anybody else have any questions?
Hi, Huffman.
What's going on, Latoya? How you doing?
Oh, it is well. Thanks for asking. What a great show. And I see you were speaking about papaya.
Yes. Yeah. Papaya has an enzyme in it called papain. It has an enzyme in it called papain that breaks down protein. It's a natural protease. So if you have noticing you're having digestive issues, start eating more papaya. You can even do it green. I prefer you to do it ripe. The riper, a lot of times people think the unripe is better. The riper is actually better because those enzymes are actually they're active. They're breaking down things. So when you get in there and the fruit is ripe, it's at its peak for you as far as enzymatic activity as well as sweetness. So you get the benefit of both worlds. If you are taking it unripe, the enzyme haven't really broke down everything that you want. So you're still getting enzymes in it. You're just getting less of the sugar broken down, so it's not as sweet. So that's the main thing. But the enzymes, if you get the ripe fruit, enzymatically, it's as active as it's going to be before it becomes too much, where it literally start to digest and break down the food all the way. But if you get it ripe, you're getting activity at its highest point as well as the taste. And that's a good thing. Yep. That and mango. Mango is also rich in enzymes, as well as melons. We talked about melons last week and how rich melons are in enzymes. These are just enzymes right now that will have beneficial effects on your pancreas and the rest of your body to keep your enzymatic pool more under control.
Thank you, Huffman.
No problem. Listen, if anybody deals with inflammation, these same enzymes that I talked about to digest your food will help you with inflammation in the body. These same enzymes, check this out. Let me tell you how that works. These same enzymes that help break down your food will have a positive effect on people who deal with autoimmune issues. I did a video maybe last year sometime. We talked about autoimmune. And I said one of the best things you can do is take systemic enzymes because they act like a bulletproof vest against rogue immunoglobulins. And immunoglobulins are proteins, those proteins that the immune systems secrete that usually deactivates and fights off viruses and bacteria. But when you have autoimmune issues, those same proteins attack the body. Well, guess what systemic enzymes will do? They will actually digest and break down those immunoglobulins that are attacking the body. So those same enzymes that will help you to digest your food will also have beneficial effects if you take them systemically. And the way you do that is by digesting them on an empty stomach. So you take your digestive enzymes 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours after you ate something, or 1 hour before you eat something. You want to take them on an empty stomach. Those would absorb in the bloodstream and they'll do the work that you want them to do. They will help you with joints. They will help you thin out mucus. They will help you with inflammation. They will help you with autoimmune issues. They will help break down some blood clots. They will help with breaking down too much fibrogen in the body. They do so much. The same enzyme that you digest with will also have an effect on keeping the body overall healthy. But you just have to take them without food. 2 to 3 hours after you eat, 1 hour before you eat. Also, another thing that you can do, if you want to improve your the digestive enzymes you buy or the foods you eat, take them right before you eat. Most people take their digestive enzymes after they eat. You're supposed to take it right before you eat because you get better results because the body is digesting while the rest of the food is coming in versus taking it afterwards and the body starts to digest. You want it to start working as soon as you start to eat. You don't want it to work after you eat, and then it's digesting half of your food because the rest has already been going inside the small intestines, and now the pancreas is doing the work. You want to get in there and say, as soon as you get in there, boom, it starts to work. That's what we want. Okay.
Permission to speak. Permission to speak.
Go ahead, bro.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
First, I want to say good show as always.
Thank you, sir.
I'm still passing around your videos to people that's asking me a lot of questions, and I'm always sending them your videos. I want to say
No problem. Thank you.
I do have a question to ask you that has nothing to do about what you're talking about. So, instead of me cutting in, I would rather wait until we're not recording, and then if you can spend like 2 minutes with me just to answer this one question, I would rather do that instead of...
Okay, not a problem. Brother Forrest, would you like to answer a question or something like that, or anybody else before I stop recording so I can ask the brother a question? Brother Dion, question?
Yeah, Brother Abdul.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Marcus.
Yes, how you doing, Marcus?
TV static in the eyes.
What is it? You said TV static in the eyes?
I'm the one that comes to your store. I got the TV static, the static in the eyes.
Oh, yes. I remember that. Yes. How you doing, brother?
Good. How's it going, man?
I'm doing great. Yeah, you got this something I've never seen. Go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
I just wanted to say, man, you got a great program here, good information. I was at your place yesterday. You know, great products, great staff, and just keep doing what you're doing, man. Because I'm actually following and learning and experiencing and improving. You know, and I'm thanking you for your information as well as for your place where I can go to and get the things that I need that help me out. So keep doing what you're doing, bro. Just want to give you some encouragement and say you're inspiring to me, bro. Thank you.
Thank you.
Abdul.
Yeah.
I just want to say two quick things, brother, before Brother Leon bring Brother Leon in when he got that 2 minutes. I just want to say that I always use pineapple, and I find out because they say you got to find out what works for you. I find out that during the summer months, when you eat more cooling foods, I feel way better, and then when it gets cold out, the warming foods, like the navy beans, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I challenged Miss Carol to a fasting, and I did 18 hours before because I drank coconut water while I was fasting. All right, and took some supplements, nothing solid, nothing chewing anything, and Miss Carol tapped out after 6 hours, so I commend her for those 6 hours. But I did 18 hours a day, but I just wanted to share that with the listening audience. Thank you.
I don't think that's possible. I think Carol, she go hard. She go to Daniel fast and all that stuff. I she tapped out after 6 hours.
And Forrest, it's not nice to lie on Sunday.
Oh man,
I'm just joking, family. Forgive me, Most High. Okay, thank you, Brother Abdul.
No problem. All right,
how many halos do he need to do to be forgiven for that? How many halos do he have to do to be forgiven for that lie?
I don't know. We'll discuss that later.
What you was about to say, Carol? I'm about to stop recording so I can get a.
I said good show and good to be back. I missed you the last couple of weeks.
I know. I thought you didn't care for me no more. I said, Carol don't love me no more.
No. I was out of town and didn't have Wi-Fi the one time, and the other time I had a funeral. Yeah, I've been having a lot of funerals lately.
I swear to God, it seems like everybody's dying.
Okay.
And I'm not even trying to be funny, Oh, let me stop recording this.